Okay, so now we're going to take what we learned from drawing the cylinder and we're going to draw an organic object. So the cylinder was a geometric form. This is going to be an organic or natural form, okay? But it relates to what we did with the cylinder in terms of the cross contours, okay? So this time we're not trying to draw the object larger, we're going to draw the object, life size. And so we're going to start off finding our range with the in a more gestural type of mark, so lighter, right? And this is a very round apple. It's the only apple I had at home. I wanted to have something a little bit more, I don't know, angular, but this will work. So I have my stem coming up to about here, and there's the apple. And you can see it's about life size, okay, which is what we're looking for. Now with cross contours on the fruit, when you're drawing the cross contour drawing of the fruit, you're going to need to have this thing as close to you as your own hand is, okay? And I think it's also best to have it underneath your eye level rather than on your eye level. And don't hold the object like this, okay? In class, I say that all the time, and how many people do I see doing this? A lot. So you're watching on a video, you shouldn't make that mistake. You just heard me say it, okay? All right, so here I've got it set. Now with the cross contours, and I know this is weird for a lot of people, this is sort of an imaginary line you're dealing with, right? But again, the outside edges of the object, those lines that you draw there, those are imaginary too. There's no line here, okay? It's just the edge. So if you can draw a line on the outside edge of an object, you can draw it on the inside as well. Now the thing about this apple is that it's relatively deep in the center there. So that means my cross contour starting here, I'm going to have to come up, ease up, come down, okay? And you can see how deep that is. Coming around there, coming down and around here. And a lot of times you're going to have to sort of touch and feel. So you're tracing the path of your touch. Just like in the cylinder drawing, as we get closer to the center, these are going to straighten out a little bit. Now notice at the top, where I can see the top, these lines are going to meet, but at the bottom they don't meet. They wouldn't meet till they got all the way underneath the fruit, which I can't see, okay? You can see these lines are real dark. Right now I've still got the outside contours relatively light. I can darken those at any time, so since I'm talking about it, may as well do it now. And then I'll give it one more cross contour on this side. Now we have the cross contours coming around this way, okay? And as I touch this apple, I see it's not perfectly round. There's some dips as we get over on this side, okay? Don't be afraid to touch the object. It's going to be important. In life drawing, we do cross contours as well, but we don't get to touch the model, so this is something that you get to take advantage of here that you wouldn't get to take advantage of there. And just like in the cylinder, as the lower you get, the more curved the lines become, right? So this one should be a little bit more curved than I drew it. Now on the stem, it's relatively thin. I could have a cross contour coming across the middle of it there, but the important ones are going to be the ones coming around like that. Okay, so now you have one view of the apple. So that's what I'm going to want you to do. I'm going to want you to do one view, and then I'm going to want you to do another view of the apple. This apple has bruises on both sides. Well, it'll just make for a more interesting drawing that way. So now we're turning it around, and the apple's moving in a different way in space. And that's one thing that cross contours are capable of showing you. They show you how the form is moving through space. The scale's not going to change, so it's going to be about the same size, as close as I can make it. But here I see the bottom of the fruit now. And you can see the axis of this thing is, this is straight up and down, and this is angling this way. So straight up and down, moving away. And now the cross contours. So they're going to come around like this, inside that part of the bottom, coming around. They hit that bump, and they come around. You can see I'm varying the line weight here. Around that way, around that way. Let's get the outside contours now. Didn't even draw the stem, so the stem's getting overlapped. If we followed that path, that axis, that's where the stem is going to start. And now we have the cross contours coming around this way. So curving around, it's going to hit that bruise at about there, and it'll flatten out or even dip a little bit, and then it'll come up and then back down around. Here we don't have the bruise, so it's just going to do that. There we don't have it, coming around like that. Getting more curved, I drew an extra bump in it, as it moves away, and then curves on stem, which is moving away. So those curves are curving around this way rather than the other way. So the way that the curve is going establishes the form. So you can see that this object now is moving away from me that way, okay? So we have two views of a piece of fruit, one upright, one moving away below the eye level, okay? Same idea that we had last time. We have an axis passing through, so sometimes I have students put the axis in there. You're not going to be, that's not necessary to do, but just so you can see what would happen there, you have the axis there and there, indicates which way the form is moving through space. If you can master this, you can master anything, okay? Because all of this is going to be coming through into the drawings that the value drawing that we do next, really all value drawings. Understanding the form is really important in painting, because when you're painting, the brush strokes actually follow the form of the object, okay? When you're applying value, the value should follow the form of the object. So if you know the form of the object, you know the mass, weight, and volume of the object and how that moves through space, how it curves, how it bends. If you know that, then you're able to make something a lot more convincing, which is what observational drawing is all about. All right? So that you're going to need to do. You'll do your cylinder drawing first, and then you're going to do your two views of the fruit. And if you've done them already, I want you to review after you've seen this, especially if you got a low grade on the fruit last time. If you got a 3 or below, I would want you to do it again, okay? So the more you do it, the better off you're going to be, the more practice you're going to get, okay? And that's really all it is in drawing, in observational drawing. The more you do it, like anything else, the better you're going to get. Most artists, they don't come out of the womb knowing how to draw. They have to make a lot of mistakes first. So if you're making mistakes, you should be happy about it, because it's part of the process, okay? All right, so fruit, you can do it.